is all about the king that was sitting courtside.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
What a beautiful Tuesday here at the Evan Cohen Studios in the City Place Studios for ESPN West Palm on Theoretically Speaking. CCAT on the ones and twos. Myself, Theo Dorsey, riding out with you until 6 p.m. And the beautiful thing about last night's Boston Celtics win, as you all know, I love to pile on those Celtics who are kind of just walking their way, cakewalking through the Eastern Conference because nobody's really standing in their path. They get the 109-102 win over the Cavaliers on the road last night, but all anyone can talk about is what signals, what message was LeBron James trying to send, because, of course, the king himself made his grand entrance midway through the first quarter, and he sat down. C-Cat, I wonder if this vernacular, resonates with you. If I tell you I got my feet on the wood, would that click with you at all? My feet are on the wood?
Of course. Yeah, you're courtside.
Okay, so that's the thing. I was wondering because, again, this is my mother-in-law. She actually said this on a group family call about having your feet on the wood at a basketball game, and nobody understood the reference she was making, but I did. Mm-hmm. I backed her up on that. Feet on the wood, if we're talking basketball, that means you're sitting courtside, but your actual shoes are touching the hardwood.
Not too many of those seats. So you should take it with an honor.
You should take it with an honor. And if you're LeBron James and you're in any basketball city, but specifically Cleveland, Ohio, of course, they're rolling out the red carpet. And LeBron James was there courtside at the Cavaliers hosting the Celtics for Game 4 last night. The Celtics win 109-102. That's not really the story. Jason Tatum actually quietly had maybe the best game he's had all postseason. 33 points. 11 boards, 5 assists, and it came in a game where Donovan Mitchell was sidelined. So again, nobody cared about the results, but everybody's trying to figure out what did it mean. Why is LeBron James on a Monday evening courtside at a Cavs game, knowing it's going to lead First Take, knowing it's going to lead Get Up, knowing it's going to lead Theoretically Speaking? I mean, C-Cat, LeBron did this purposefully. He knew you and I had to discuss the king because of where he was sitting last night.
Yeah, he realized his name was not mentioned at all on yesterday's show, and he had to do something tonight to change that. And, well, congratulations, King. You got it.
You got what you wanted, LeBron James. So we're answering the question, what was LeBron James signaling by sitting courtside in Cleveland? And, of course, when you want to answer anything when it comes to King James, you ask the guy who knows him best in sports media. That's Brian Windhorst, who made the rounds on every single ESPN show you can get your eyes on, including when he was on our airwaves on ESPN 106.3 this morning on Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman, when he said this about what NBA GMs and executives were hitting him up about after seeing the statement LeBron James made last night.
I will say this. The first thing I thought of was this moment 10 years ago where LeBron showed up to a game in Cleveland while he was a player for the Miami Heat to honor Zydrunas Ilgauskas' jersey retirement, his longtime teammate. And he got in a private plane, flew from Chicago over to Cleveland on an off night. Pat Riley was not happy. Mm-hmm. And a few months later, he signed with the Cavs. And when I wrote my book about LeBron coming back to Cleveland and winning the championship, that was the lead chapter because that was sort of the beginning. So I'm thinking about that now 10 years on when LeBron shows up today, and I'm saying, what's he doing? Because he's extremely strategic. And I wish I could tell you I knew exactly what he's doing. I don't pretend to know, but he's got to be up to something.
What's come out since then, and we've gotten this verified by Brian Windhorst. I also actually saw Chris Broussard said something over on Fox Sports about it as well. But, Rich Paul, LeBron James, and his wife Savannah James, all from Northeast Ohio. He was out there already for Mother's Day. So if you're LeBron James and you're spending Mother's Day with mom back home and you're kicking it, of course, on Monday, what are you going to be doing? Watching NBA playoffs. He loves basketball. He's a basketball junkie. So LeBron was likely there because I'm sure he preferred his feet on the wood to maybe just kicking in whatever man cave he has. I'm sure he has homes in Northeast Ohio, but nothing is better than having your own personal wine bottle and sitting with your feet on the wood at a game, C-Cat. Like, if you have the option, which one are you picking?
Well, you also know when you make this decision to go to this Cavaliers game that you're putting your current boss in a weird spot, don't you?
Yeah, and part of the reporting as well, from multiple reports, we heard that LeBron did have his agent, Rich Paul, notify the Los Angeles Lakers. So what I'll say is this. LeBron James is not signaling that he is trying to create leverage to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James, at this stage in his career, he's going to be going into his age 40 season next year, and I just cannot see, realistically, LeBron James wanting to pack his stuff up out of Los Angeles and move back to Cleveland, Ohio to finish out his career. That's not the way you do it. He's already forced Savannah James, who's also from Northeast Ohio, to do that once when they left Miami for Cleveland. And then he brought her to L.A. And C-Cat, I've only been married for 3 months and some change here. I know that you live with your girlfriend. You understand you have to make these decisions cohesively as a unit. I don't think LeBron James is convincing his wife, Savannah James, who knows the lifestyle they have out there in Los Angeles. LeBron James also, he's getting his hands in all of these different entertainment venues and ventures. He's got the podcast with JJ Redick, which has been doing so well. I mean, I'm sure he'll be executive producing some movie we'll find out about in some weeks as well. Like, the dude has a lot of incentive to be in L.A. I mean, what's the selling point you give to your family in Savannah James to move to Cleveland, Ohio to finish out your career? Like, you can visit. You could do like what they did this past Mother's Day weekend and pull up on the family and have some fun when it's warm outside. But you telling me Savannah James is going to leave Los Angeles to go kick it in September in Ohio for the whole year? It ain't happening.
Tell you what, you're speaking my language here, Theo, because I asked my girlfriend to do just that, right? Move to the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma for a career that is significantly less important than LeBron James's, I would say. And then we came down here to West Palm, where we're loving life absolutely, and I can't imagine making that same decision a second time.
Yeah,
you get one of those. I'm not sure you get two of those.
Imagine just telling your girlfriend today, coming home, being like, oh, my gosh, this is great opportunity in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Pull up with me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening. Also, LeBron James's priorities at this stage in his career are obviously more pointed and shifted towards family and how you leave your legacy in the NBA. He's no longer realistically chasing the 6 rings that Michael Jordan has right now. If you're LeBron James, now you're checking off boxes that are personal to you, which takes me to my next point in Bronny James. Bronny James, who simultaneously, while we see LeBron James courtside as the Boston Celtics get this meaningless win over the Cavs to go up 3-1, Bronny James is out there showing out in the NBA draft combine. Well, we've been hearing a lot of noise about whether or not LeBron James has it prioritized on his list to play with his son in the NBA on the same team coming up in this next season. He showed us his cards beforehand, right? Like a couple years ago, he made it public he wants to play basketball with LeBron James Jr. They have since walked it back, and I'm starting to figure out why LeBron James and his agent Rich Paul have been so profuse in their way of walking back whether or not he wants to be with Bronny James. We all know LeBron James is the king of basketball. He's also the king of creating leverage. And the last thing he wants to do is to have a signal out there to NBA teams that if you draft Bronny James, you get LeBron James. Here's actually Stephen A. Smith on the Stephen A. Smith Show earlier talking specifically about that angle for other NBA teams. Because before, the common knowledge was if you draft Bronny James, you can get LeBron as a free agent this summer. Now that they're walking it back, teams like the Dallas Mavericks, which Stephen A. Smith mentioned, might have lost a play from their playbook. Take a listen.
Bronny James might not make it to the Lakers' second-round pick because of a team like the Dallas Mavericks could position themselves to get him in the second round. They'll take him because LeBron said he wants to go where his son goes. And if you're the Dallas Mavericks and you got Kyrie and you got Luka, and LeBron James is willing to come to Big D, that might be the first time something's more popular than the Cowboys.
No, I can't lie. Mark Cuban would jump at any opportunity to try and sway LeBron James to Dallas. And if it means using a high draft pick on Bronny James, CK, you're not putting that past a guy like Mark Cuban.
Yeah, I think that LeBron James would get a seat on Shark Tank if that were to happen. Like, they would carve out a spot for him on that show if he joins the Mavericks. Absolutely.
And it's not actually a terrible idea, right? Like, I mean, if you're LeBron, I mean, you can convince Savannah to move to Dallas, right? You can convince yourself that you can win a championship alongside Kyrie and Luka. I don't know how the money would work out there, and that's not for me to figure out or decide, but it's not a bad angle. But again, LeBron does not want to leave LA right now, right? His dream scenario is the Lakers find a way to select Bronny James. He gets to try and push for a championship in LA. Right now, of course, we know LeBron James has the opt-out option after the NBA draft. So he's going to opt out. He's going to get a new extension with the Lakers most likely, and he wants to play with Bronny James in LA. It makes all of the sense in the world that would be where his priority is. And also, for those of you that think LeBron James will return to Cleveland, hasn't he done everything that he needs to do in a Cleveland Cavaliers uniform? Nothing is going to top 2016. He's wasting his time if he's trying to chase that high of being the guy that brought the first major sports championship to Cleveland in 5 decades. Like, Cleveland, this is for you. Like, we're not, there's no topping that moment. Even trying to bring your son out there and try to win a championship with him, I just don't see him chasing that high, especially not by also having to relocate your family again. He wants to stay in LA. He wants Bronny to pull up with him. And really, my last point on why LeBron James was actually sitting courtside at the Cleveland Cavaliers arena to watch Celtics-Cavs, I think, C-Cat, that LeBron James was just trying to cover for Luka Doncic. He just was trying to cover for Luka Doncic because look at this. We're 11 minutes into the show today. I've watched a bunch of different other talk shows and on TV and whatnot, and you know what I haven't heard people talking about?
What?
That donk from Luka Doncic last night. Can we play it? Can we hear? This is from the arena, from the Mavericks arena. The Mavericks up 2-1 in the series over Oklahoma City. By the way, late in the fourth quarter, C-Cat, I pulled out Hard Rock Bet. I saw the Thunder were trailing. I know how good that team is at coming back in the fourth quarter. So I went over there and I bet not the money line, but just straight up, right? When you pick the team just to win it.
Live money line, yes.
Live money line. Well, it wasn't you're right. Live money line. I went with the Thunder. It was like plus 230. I only put a little bit on it, but I knew it would happen. So I'm glad that the Thunder made me a little richer. I was able to afford my lunch with my wife earlier. I appreciate you, Oklahoma City. But here is Luka Doncic making it that much easier for me. 10 seconds left in the game. The Mavericks were trailing. Luka, who stumbles his way into a foul. Really, he fell down, and the referees allowed him a chance at the free throw line. It felt like one of those bailout calls. Luka Doncic steps up to the line, needs 2, misses 1. Take a listen to how loud this clunk sounded in his home arena. That's an exasperated crowd, like just straight up, just floored. And can we hear that dunk one more time? It was so loud. The mics on the rims really picked that stuff up good. One more time, Luka Doncic just clunking a free throw off the rim.
It's not like it was in like a church ball league. Like, that guy was in the arena. Like, he was not in the front row. That was not close.
He was like in the 200 level at best. Like, he was up on the raised section, and you can hear that thing all throughout the arena there. Luka Doncic, who's shooting under 40% in this series, he had 18 points on 20 shots with 7 turnovers last night. He looked bad, and I know Luka's battling injuries right now. I know he's not fully healthy, but one thing that LeBron James did, one person that probably benefited the most of LeBron James sitting courtside at the Cavs-Celtics game last night was Luka Doncic, because nobody's talking about how short he came up in a big moment against the Thunder, who win it 100-96. They tied that series at 2-2, and I just had to be the one to say it. Luka, thank LeBron on your way out. What do you think LeBron James was signaling? What was his purpose of sitting courtside at the Cavs-Celtics game? You let us know on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. That's the number to the Baptist Health Hotline. Also, I asked on Twitter, where would you like to see LeBron James go? We put out a little theoretically speaking poll. Where would you like to see LeBron James next? Either the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he was sitting courtside last night, the Los Angeles Lakers. Either you don't care And then the other answer would be somewhere with Bronny James. I'll tell you right now, C-Cat, I'd love to see him play with his son. Don't necessarily care where it's going to be. I can guarantee you it ain't going to be Cleveland. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotlines, 888-760-3776. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. I say there's no way LeBron James takes his career back to Cleveland. He has nothing more to gain from that. And also, there's no way they're raising another banner out there at, I know it's not called the Q anymore. I think, what is it, Rocket Mortgage Arena?
Nope. American Airlines?
No
Is that somewhere else?
No
I don't
clue.
know.
I mean, it's in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a big stadium. You know what I'm talking about. No way LeBron James does this. It almost makes me a little infuriated that people would even think that would happen. And speaking of being a little bit mad, C-Cat, you had yourself a bit of a run-in. You don't seem to strike me as a guy that gets into standoffs or gets into real feuds with people. You're easygoing. You're a fun guy. You're cool.
Yeah, I'm non-confrontational, but in the last couple of years, that patience has really kind of run thin, and I'm letting it out on other people that are strangers.
You let it out on a stranger. You got into a face-off, a standoff, if you will, and you did it in a spot where you really didn't have much leverage. I'm surprised at what you did because I would have never even tested the waters on that. We'll address C-Cat's drive-through standoff story. Plus, I mean, somebody's got to be the one to do it. I want to address what's happening with Reggie Miller in broadcasting right now and him trying to also poke the bear that is LeBron James. Somebody's got to talk about it. We're going to do that here on Theoretically Speaking. So stick around. We got the Get Around next, and C-Cat tells us how he, in a drive-through, was it the chef? It was the person that was had the headset on. I don't know what the
Headset person.
He and the headset person at a drive-through
Almost came to blows.
This dude here, you never know a guy until they tell you about themselves. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the